Hi everyone, my name is Hannah Austin, and I'm going to be starting off the ABCs of NIL today. I'm going to go over the background and how to protect yourself with NIL deals and your brand. Um, so, I want to talk about how completely transformed what it means to be a college athlete today versus 50 years ago. Um, Name, image, and likeliness, known as NIL, has changed the game. And I want to talk about how it's not just a policy change, but like a real opportunity and a real challenge for athletes that we know personally or we watch on screens or however we see them. Because let's be honest, in before 2021, the idea of a college athlete getting paid for their own name, brand, image, how popular they were, it was impossible. Like we didn't think that that could have been done before. But athletes are trained like professionals, performed like professionals, and carry the pressures of professionals, but had no ability to profit from what they brought to the game. But now everything's different. And with that freedom comes responsibility, is what most athletes tend to put lower than others. Um, so, understanding NIL contracts and negotiations, if there's one message I want athletes to walk away with, it's do not treat NIL, do not treat an NIL deal like a handshake agreement. It is a business contract. It's a business contract. It is not a way to gain more money with no repercussions. It is a business contract. Contracts should reflect the fair market value and they should have a real purpose and they should also follow the NCAA school rules and state rules. And here's something that a lot of athletes do not realize is that if any deal over $600, it has to be reported. Forgetting that isn't a small mistake. It can impact like eligibility. And I've seen how easy it is to overlook things like exclusivity clauses. Maybe a company wants to be the only energy drink you work with. That sounds simple, but it can block you from working with bigger brands down the road. It could even conflict with your school sponsors. The pros of negotiating NIL deals are huge. Athletes can make more money than they have ever had access to before. They can also build their confidence, learn negotiation skills, and grow a personal brand that lasts beyond their playing career. But the risks are very real too. Without a lawyer or someone trustworthy reviewing the contract, athletes can get locked into unfair terms, violate rules, and unintentionally jeopardize their eligibility. And international athletes have extra hurdles with taxes and visas, something they can't afford to overlook. Now I'm getting into building and protecting your brand. So before NIL, posting on social media as an athlete didn't have any financial stakes. But as you can see now in 2025, social media is above everything. In today's world, your Instagram page, your TikTok presence, even the tone in your captions, they can all affect these opportunities. And athletes really do have to understand what they post, how they post it, what they say does affect them. Social media gives athletes direct access to fans and sponsors. It also helps them tell their story on their own terms. And it can open doors for future careers, even if they never go pro. That is what I love about social media. But putting yourself out there and posting also means that every post matters. So one moment of frustration online, one poorly thought out joke, one untagged sponsor post, and suddenly you're risking the reputation or even violating the FTC rules. FTC rules, yeah, I said that right. The you can hashtag ads, you can hashtag sponsor labels, but they're not an optional. You have to hashtag them. It's required, and if you don't, again, you could violate the FTC rules. You could risk your reputation. And I know, from experience, sometimes it feels like creating content is another part-time job, it can be overwhelming, but athletes who take their time to shape their image and with intention benefit from it in the long run. So, at the end of the day, NIL is more about money. It is about athletes finally having ownership of their name, who they are, what they do, what they bring to the table. It's also about learning those business professional skills like legal, financial, creative that like will matter after their playing days are over. This like new era gives athletes power, but it also demands awareness. Athletes have to be aware of what they're getting themselves into, what they put in the internet. You have to be responsible, and you have to have patience. You're not gonna wake up one day and automatically have $1 million. It's a gradual time thing. If an athlete takes the time to understand contracts, ask for help, protect their online presence, and stay within the rules, NIL can become a positive force that shapes not only their college experience but their future beyond sports. And that is all I have. But I hope um, that was a good representation with how NIL is so prominent in college athletics today. What we don't realize is how many opportunities NIL can give us, but we have to be aware.
All right, NIL contracts, a lot of them. Gets a little crazy over here. It's new, chaotic. I'm going to cover sign-on deals for y'all. People, these athletes coming out of high school, kind of what they deal with, what it's like. Obviously, I didn't experience it. I'm not a student athlete. Tried, failed, but I'll try and give my best effort at explaining what it's like or what maybe a high school student coming into college or might go through with this NIL stuff. So first, key points. Let's start off with how do these schools gather their NIL? So a lot of them they have their successful alumni that they reach out to, and they try and have them donate their money. It could be an athlete that made it in the league or whatever their respective field is. It could be just any successful alumni that's made a lot of money. Really, anybody at all. I mean, I could donate to the NIL fund at U of L football games. I think you can like do round up your purchases at concessions by you can just round up and it would donate a couple cents to the NIL fund. So I think it's 502 Circle. I think that's what it's called. It's pretty successful. But yeah, everybody has a different one. Everybody does it differently. Everybody, big schools have more money than the smaller schools. That's just how it works. Whether you think it's fair or not, obviously if you have more alumni, if you have more successful alumni, you're just gonna have more money. It's just how it goes. All right. Next up, so these athletes, it disappeared on my screen, but we're gonna go. They can sign on deals out of high school, whether it's it's kind of up to the high school on letting them do that or not. But if their school allows them to, if their district or whatever allows them to, they can sign it out of high school. They can make millions, out of high school. I mean, Bryce Underwood, he's on the left. He's going to be my example for sign-on deals. He committed to LSU originally. He's from Michigan. Michigan came to him and said, "Hey, man, $12 million." Obviously, they can't just hand him $12 million. There's some crazy workarounds for that, though, that schools do. Obviously, there's loopholes for everything. But they said, "Hey, man, $12 million. Decommit, come to Michigan." Obviously, in the picture, he's playing for the Wolverines. So he made that decision, and now he's there. That caused a whole other issue, loyalty. Are these athletes really loyal to the school that they pick? We've had athletes, you got 4 years in college. We've had athletes be at a different school every 4 years. whether that's because of they want to play or money. What are we doing? We're going to 4 schools in 4 years. If you don't make it in your sport, I don't even want to know what that's like on the education side. Going to 4 schools in 4 years. That's a completely different story, though. I'm getting off topic. But yeah, are these athletes really loyal? Or are they just going to, are they just picking schools based off money? Do they, do they really want to be where they are? Or, like I said, are they just going for who's paying them more? I mean, well, we'll really never know. Some people, they'll lose a game, they'll go on Twitter or whatever, and then be like, oh, our best player or whatever is here because he just gets paid. He just gets paid well. He didn't. All he got his bag, so he doesn't care anymore. I don't think that's true. These athletes they like to compete. They wouldn't be playing if they didn't like to compete. You know, I I don't care. I mean, obviously, I'd never be in this position, but if I was making millions in the NFL and we went 0-17, I'd be pretty upset still. I don't want to lose every game. That's what's the fun in that. And obviously, you're making a lot of money, but you got to go in every week and you're losing. That's not fun. So, obviously, like I said, I'm not in that position, so I wouldn't know. But that's all on the athletes if they believe that they want to be there or not. So, with this NIL, what are the laws surrounding these deals? Well, first, usually these universities are following state laws around this stuff. That's most of them. If they don't have state laws around surrounding most of this, the NCAA jumps in and they'll implement their own policies to the university that the university has to follow. Uh, Along with that, these athletes still have to report to some sort of administration or whatever it may be that they got to report these NIL opportunities and deals to somebody else, so somebody other than them and maybe their agent knows what's going on. So, what is my big tip for these student athletes? What is one tip that I have for them? I think as an athlete coming out of high school or really at all, I think you should know your worth. Now that money is involved with college athletics, you have a chance to make money. You know your worth. Don't over, whatever the word is. Don't ask for more money than you deserve. Don't ask for too little because it can backfire on you. And again, do what's still best for you because you got if you have a future in the sport, that can really come crashing down if you don't do what's best for you or if you go to a bad situation or stuff like that. So still, know your worth and do what's best for you. I say tread lightly and bold at the bottom because we've seen already. I mean, this is NIL's been around for not even that long. We've already seen athletes overshoot their worth and it comes crashing down. Nico Maliava is probably the most recent example of that. If you haven't heard of him, former Tennessee quarterback. He was like the number one recruit out of high school. He played his freshman year at Tennessee. He was pretty solid. Decided he thought he was worth more than what Tennessee was giving him. He transferred to UCLA or he was actually like released from the Tennessee football team. Had some crazy thing happen there. Went to UCLA for less money, and now he's on a worse team for less money. So, and his image has kind of been shattered from that. I don't think, in my opinion, I haven't seen anybody, say that he's a good person or he's a guy I want on my team. I haven't seen that. So his image has kind of been ripped apart a little bit over this. So again, just be careful. And that's it for me for sign-on deals. So here are my sources, and on to the next contract.
Hello, everyone. Um, I'm gonna be talking about breaking contracts, problematic NIL deals, and the person I'm gonna be talking about is Savannah Hosher. Hopefully I'm saying her last name right. I did look it up, make sure I say it right, because I never heard that type of name. the woman up there, that's her. So that's Savannah. She used to be a student at the University of Florida. Um, so her type of contract was NIL modeling and problematic contract. So, number one question I have on the slide is why does breaking contracts and problematic NIL deals mean, and why does it matter to student athletes? I got a definition for that. I did not put this in here, so it means like NIL deals turn out bad or safe for athletes. So, like I said, the company might not pay or pay late or make fake checks or bounce checks. What I said on here, when she had a $3,000 check, it bounced, so it was almost like a scam. So that's the part. Like the highlights of the risk of it, NIL contract. Hidden costs mostly. That's I mostly put. Always hidden costs because it's always hiding somewhere. It's always probably in a small print. So these bad deals may come with brands that are not real or it's not trustworthy. Athletes sometimes will rust, maybe because they're excited or they just did something big and then just go with it. So they may, and then they find out, oh, this deal hurts me. So sometimes some athletes have to break the contract to protect themselves. By doing that, they still will cause problems in their own cause. I kind of see the tip on here. Half of it's taken away by my camera and my face. But I have two of them. I put this one because I like this one. But I have the two of them I wanted to pick. I'm writing my notes. The tip is always read the whole contract. Because you don't, you're going to be stuck in a contract you don't like. It'll be miserable. And always make sure the company is real. And a deal looks good. A deal might look good at first, but it might have having problems. I have down here that it seems to be okay. Okay, may have in pitfalls, but I should have put this one to talk about in there instead. But no big deal. Last question. So why did Savannah Hoser how did it break her NIL deal? And what made the contract so bad? I kind of went through this, but I'm going to say her opinions, what she said in it. So, her check, false. It's like a scam, false scam like thing. So it bounced. So the deal was literally a scam. Contract was confusing. Didn't seem honest or safe. Her situation shows that why athletes should always double check, like I said earlier. Read everything carefully before signing, or get a friend, get a family member, or at least someone you're close to, or a lawyer next to you to make sure everything's okay. Because you don't if you don't get someone to help you, or like read it secondly with a friend opinion, like you'll be stuck in this. I think it's always smart to have like a family member or someone or a lawyer next to you or a close friend to help you with this. If they've been through it before. I'm gonna be going to the next slide, and next slide we're gonna be talking about Kayla Williams. We're gonna do transfer deals on this one. His type of contract, like I said, transfer, recruitment, NIL deal. First question on this slide: what is the transfer NIL deal, and why is it important for student athletes? So, a transfer NIL deal is when an athlete moves to a new school and gets an NIL offer and chance to earn money at that school. So the deals can help athletes have a better opportunity, like playing more, bigger platform. Like he's trying to get his name out there. Like if you feel me. Schools, brands may offer partnerships once the athlete transfers. Transferring NIL deals can change athletes' exposure, income, career paths. Like I said, get his name out there, get money, and everything he wants. Um, they make the transfer progress more about finding the best fit, the best support for the athlete. Like I said in here, key points. I'm gonna talk about the key point, a couple of the key points. I already went through some of it. Transfer deals could be included bonus payments, or NIL opportunities offered by new schools and local brands. I already said that. Um, Highlights the importance of elevating both athletes and financial opportunities when they're transferring. I kind of said that. Athletes should always be careful considering ability rules like fitting the team, academic impacts. Like example, like what feels right for them. Does this feel right for me or not? Like does this team feel good for me? Do I fit in? Like will I be have my name on the platform? Kind of like that. I don't know how all it's like it could grow their career and brand. Like I said, Caleb did transfer. His first season, he was with the um, University of Oklahoma, and then he went after his first season. After that, he transferred to uh, USC football. Like I said, to get his name out there again, to just have a better career. Um, Next question is, how did Caleb Williams benefit from transferring NIL deals when he changed schools? Like I said, um, his name had to be out there. I'm gonna say mostly that don't have the key facts. It's not in there. Let's see. He receives so bigger opportunities and have major brands at the college, University of Southern uh, California. Um, the new deal helped him earn more money, gain more attention, and then grow his football name. Like I said, get his name out there. So when he transferred to that school. It gave him a bigger platform, and helped him stand out. It gave him even more in college football. But today he is now a quarterback of the Chicago Bears. After he transferred to USC, it helped him boost his career more now because now he's in NFL football, which is kind of cool. And the tip I have here, this is my favorite one because I just love it. Even my favorite one, I had to look around for it, but I really like this one. Transfer can open doors to bigger markets and more NIL deals, but always weigh academics, team culture, and eligibility for committing. I really love that type of tip because that's a good one. Definitely for like people who's transferring to different schools, I think that'll be a good tip for them. Um, I'm at the end of my slide. Here's my sources. Thank y'all for watching.
Hello, my name is Tiffany Reynolds, and I hope that you're finding value from our presentation. Moving forward, all athletes should consider how NIL can benefit them. If you are a college athlete today, protect yourself by understanding the contract offers as they are presented to you. Hannah and Kayla taught us that contracts can be very complicated and confusing. There are many ways that an athlete can get stuck with unfair deals. Hannah's examples include thinking that a handshake deal is the same as a written business contract. Many times, the details that are spoken turn out to be very different once they are written. It's important for athletes to be aware of their personal brand and where conflicts may arise when they're dealing with NIL contracts. Jonathon reminds us that there are many creative ways for an athlete to access NIL funds. Colleges themselves are offering opportunities for alumni and concession stand donations. Fans can help support athletes by purchasing products from there or also services such as the NIL store. The University of Louisville athletes additionally have the 502 Circle, which is an app for fans to buy hoodies and gear with their favorite player's name, image, and likeness. Even non-revenue generating athletics can benefit from these type of opportunities. Kayla recommends that athletes need to understand that in the world of NIL, with great power comes great responsibility. All athletes should study social media strategies, or if that idea is too daunting, I recommend, and so does she, that you hire a social media manager. Ensure that when you're posting, you know how to work the algorithms of your choice media outlets. Consistency will be key if you want the right people to see your content. And Hannah reminds athletes to develop a direct connection with fans and sponsors. Jaden Daniels is an LSU football player. He was recently featured on a television show titled The Money Game. This athlete talks about why he doesn't want to take away his energy from his sport, which is football, to deal with contracts and marketing. Jonathon pointed out that athletes like Mr. Daniels are treading lightly by not allowing distraction. They could hire a team to help out. Does LSU have a support that is available for Mr. Daniels? With the new landscape being developed in NIL, there are also new career opportunities popping up. For example, universities are beginning to open job listings for athletic support specialists and NIL directors of compliance. Athletic support specialists are full-time careers that require a bachelor's degree in related fields, for example, sports administration. They develop contracts, execute those contracts, working with the internal campus partners and third-party name, image, and likeness program administration. The University of Kentucky is currently hiring an assistant director of athletics compliance. The position will also require a bachelor's degree. The director will manage NIL platforms and stay current on the evolving legislative and industry trends. Athletes can hire sports attorneys and agents to help them manage their contracts. They may hire social media managers to ensure that they are meeting the standards, both in compliance and marketing demands. Athletes themselves can be social media influencers and entrepreneurs. The game of NIL is in their hands. I recommend that parents and families of athletes educate themselves on current NIL regulations and recommendations. Hannah, Jonathon, Kayla, and I have given you a great starting point. Please tell us what you learned today about NIL contracts. NIL is available to all college athletes right now, and statistics show that avid fans and non-fans alike do support athletes being financially compensated for their athleticism. In the world of NIL, contracts are the gold standard, and education is key to maximizing these new opportunities. Good luck.